You can even go out in an outdoor venue and meet your new head basketball coach, Richard Pitino. What's good, y'all? Merry whatever date. Let's say Thursday, I think. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal, Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. You going to get out there and like in person, like back in the old days, back old school press, like actually be at a press conference?
Different. It's going to be, outside at the University Stadium, but a real live press conference to introduce the new head coach of Lobo men's basketball team. It's something else.
Who knew that? I mean, people meeting people, huh, in a COVID era. Yeah, to be at the football arena because of, obviously, a number of things COVID-related. One, the pit is a COVID vaccination site and not available to have a bunch of people come through and just celebrate a new coach. And the capacities inside as opposed to outside are much different. I don't know how many people. I honestly, in regards to fans, I don't know what to expect. I don't expect a huge throng of fans, a couple hundred, I would imagine. Is that kind of what you think?
Well, I think that'd be a nice number.
Yeah.
I'm not totally sure what kind of turnout it's going to be. I'm sure there's probably still some people like, yeah, maybe I'll just watch this stream on Facebook. But it's a nice thing that UNM's trying to do, make it outdoors and available to the public.
Yeah, I think so too. And I got a lot of people. Everybody I talked to yesterday wanted to talk about Richard Pitino, and I did a little segment on TJ's show yesterday. I'm going to be on Saturday, I think from 2 to 2:30 or something with 206 something on Jeffrey Candelaria's show on KKOB, and I'm sure you're the same. Everybody you talked to wanted to talk to about the new coach. Hopefully you all heard yesterday, get to hear Richard Pitino on our show. A lot of people heard that, and for the most part, JJ, it was positive. I mean, he didn't say anything on our show that would not be positive and not perceived as positive. I think there's a cautious optimism amongst a lot of fans, and I read Randy Harrison's column this morning in the Journal, and it was, okay, coach, but just do better here. Your record there wasn't very good, and what's going to make it different here? And I get it, and I've said this the entire time that there's no way that you ignore the numbers, but again, the records don't show you everything, right? It's absolutely part of the story. It's like I always say with attendance on games. You can't ignore attendance. It's the most out-facing, the most public way to judge an event or something, but it doesn't tell the whole story, and it's not the only metric of success.
Yeah, this situation where you're going to have people that came down differently on the coaches. You're going to have people that aren't sold, that don't think it's a good hire, and you have to prove it. And even if you think it's a good hire, there's still work to be done, because there's never a situation where not only let's say, oh, well, you hired my guy, but that doesn't mean it's going to be good anyway. And it's a long process ahead. There's a lot of work to do for this Lobo men's basketball program. But to what you said, cautious optimism, I do think people are excited looking at a coach. All right, how did he grow? What did he learn? What can he now bring to the table at the University of New Mexico? Because this program is ready to go. There's a lot of work to be done, but this isn't coming in and trying to start something. This isn't coming in and trying to win somewhere for the first time ever. It is remodeling a program that has a foundation, that has the pieces in place, but just hasn't been able to achieve that consistent success in recent history.
Well, I think there's a couple of things in there. First of all, I don't know that I've ever seen a hire. I mean, even when Danny was hired, I mean, give me a hire when Rocky was hired. I've never seen a hire where universally it's accepted, right? And so I don't think that exists. Lakers hire Frank Vogel. I mean, he didn't win there, and how good was he at Indianapolis and in Indiana? Never could get him over the hump. How's he going to do this, right? I mean, give me a hire. Sean McVay got hired with the Rams. Who's this kid? Chris Jans got hired at New Mexico State. Right? I mean, do you have one that you feel was even like remotely universally accepted, 90% accepted?
There's not many.
Okay, so everybody's got their person, and so I'm down with that. I would never accept it, but when we talk about the cautious optimism, and you say that this program's ready to go, The cautious optimism is this fan base is so hungry that they want to win so badly that they're holding on. There's a faction of people who are saying, yeah, like I mean, it's got to be, it's got to be, it's got to be. But they've been burned is hard, but maybe that's right. They've just been disappointed over the last 8 years, right? 7 years.
You've been in this position before. You know, we just said the same thing when Paul Wirt took over the job. It's the the cycle of coaching. When it doesn't work, you bring in a new guy. There's the hype. There's the hope. There's the little honeymoon period, and then it's all right. What have you done for me? What are you doing to live up to all the stuff that we just talked about when you were hired? You know, we know that in sport. But I think the more people that look into the overall picture, they get a chance to listen to Rich Pitino, who presents himself well in these interviews. You'll get that cautious optimism and willingness to give this a try, because as we know, year one is going to be very interesting. We already saw, Byron Montos in the transfer portal, and there's going to be plenty of guys that are going to be flirting with that, having to be re-recruited. And then also, what is the roster going to look like next season outside of that, in terms of guys that Rich Pitino can bring in, as challenging as this year is going to be as well, recruiting-wise. It's still going to be a lot of virtual stuff, and also what's his staff going to look like. So there's a lot of things to get done.
Van Tate reported last night McWatch Malwatch has made his decision that he's not going to come back for that extra year that's been granted by the NCAA. So all of that's right. And then the other thing is, I keep hearing the comparisons. In the comparison, there's similarities like to all of them. And I told you, was it yesterday, 2 days ago? But I got a couple of those. Well, this feels like Fraschilla to me, and I said, really, because it doesn't to me. Well, East Coast guy coming in and he's going to do it his way. Yeah, okay, but it doesn't feel that way to me. It felt to me more Alford, right? A guy from that was in the Big Ten for 8 years, that had some success, that got basically chased out. I mean, pick your word. Richard got fired. Steve was ahead of the posse in a lot of respects, and Steve had success here. I heard, well, it's very Paul Weir. Somebody said to me yesterday. I'm like, it's interesting. Why do you think that? Well, a young hotshot guy comes in very confident. Okay, he's young, but he certainly has more head coaching experience than Paul Weir. And Paul, this is not disparaging to Paul, so please don't take it that way. But Paul was with Marvin for 9 years before, so is opposed to having different mentors and being at the Final Four, in having success and being on the bench for the success. Paul had been with Marvin, had gone to the NCAA and won at that level, and did a great job in his 1 year as head coach. But 1 year as head coach in the WAC, to me, and I'm not disparaging the WAC, but 1 year in the WAC as a head coach doesn't feel the same as 8 years in the Big Ten. Does it to you?
No, it does feel a little bit like a variety of hires. I wouldn't say it's all just like Steve Alford or all just like Fran Fraschilla, but I think that's what you want if you're Eddie Nunez, is a guy that has those different things in his background, the experience as an assistant coach, coaching in the Big Ten for all those years, and then the stuff that he said in an interview when he explains, hey, this is what happened, this is what I learned. Now it's an opportunity for Rich Pitino to go out there and show that with this program. And I think I'm right there with a lot of people, cautiously optimistic to see what happens, because covering sports is better when teams are good. Covering sports is better when there's an atmosphere, when there's an energy, there's a willingness for the product. And people care about Lobo basketball as much as you hear about people tuning out. Well, they're tuning out because it's not good, but it doesn't mean they're gone forever. So I'm excited for when we can have another true pit game here in New Mexico.
I think when we go through this process, I think it reminds you, and if, all the doubters, and Jeffrey talks about this year-round, the dwindling fan base and all this stuff, I think this reminds you that when you come to this point, and we've been here now, this is the third time in the last 8 years, people care. people care, they want to care, and they want to have something about which to care. Does that make sense? I think
Yeah.
if anything that I've learned about Lobo fan over the last week and a half to 4 weeks, for that matter, is they are still there. They are still there in pretty big numbers, and they do care. And so, is that going to translate into the pit being full whenever it can be? I don't know that that's going to happen right away. I think there's going to be plenty of wait and see. Lobos put season tickets on sale yesterday, or deposits yesterday, for football and basketball. Good move. But we'll see. We'll see. But I think it's like any other hire. Give me one that was received universally, because I don't have one where everybody loved it. I just don't. And there are no guarantees. Great coaches have been hired in places, and it hasn't worked, right? I think everybody thought Dan Marley was going to work at Grand Canyon. I did, didn't you?
Yeah, you're right on about that. There's guys that might win over the majority, but there's still work to be done. Because good coaches can end up having bad teams or bad stints. And it's like anything else, it's an exact science, and there's so much work that has to be done in this process. But I think there's a lot of people that maybe they weren't totally sold on it, but yeah, they're a fan, and they're going to give this coach a chance to show, all right, you put a competitive product out there, you bring in some good student athletes, I'll buy that ticket and fill up the building.
All right, so we're here to digest it a little bit. You had a couple days. You've heard some conversations. He was on with us yesterday. He did a podcast and an interview with Jeff Grammer, and of the Journal, and then he'll speak publicly today. Just your thoughts as you move forward. Are you down with it? Even if you weren't before, are you willing to give it a shot? Certainly, we want to get into the roster moves. We got games today. You got a bunch of NFL stuff that's moving as free agency is popping, so we'll go there. Jerry Palm's due to join us 8:30 this morning. The bracketologist, the guru, the TV star from CBS Sports. He'll be with us. That's at 8:30 this morning. If you want to join the show, you can, and we encourage you to do so at 505-246-0610. That's how to find us, 505-246-0610. Your email is Jeff at 610. No, that's Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com and JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Watch the show on Facebook. It's Josh and Jay Poll producing for you on ProView Networks. You can watch it on our Facebook page, The OD in the AM. And, of course, Mike on the radio side will take your calls. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 of the Sports Animal.
No, right through the wickets. Did that go? Yes, it did. Tough serve. Here we go. That's a great serve, ace by Vance, so a kill, and then an ace for the 5'9" 8th grader. Vance, another ace. So back-to-back aces by the 8th grader. Another third successive ace got. Yarno back to pass, looking left, looks to his right, throws, caught, touchdown. Touchdown, Western New Mexico. Another run maybe coming here. One we've won. Only the keeper to beat, and she does. Rio Rancho's on.
Ferreira, and one run's going to come around to score. Here comes another run, and the Cowboys play two more.
Delivers. That one's driven to right field, over the head of the right fielder. That one's out of the park, a home run. And that's directly into the wind. I mean, I don't know what happened there, but she got around on it. She had hit one like that earlier in the game, but it was foul. Didn't go out, but that one carried and went out of the park.
Man in motion in front of Sordin. He'll get it on a power sweep. On the first play of the game, and he might be off to the races. Nobody in front, and we're going to have an opening touchdown for the Buffaloes.
That's driven deep to left. That ball is history. A 3-run bomb for Mr. Galen Young, and the Cowboys lead it 3-0.
Midfield by Molina. Now to Martin. Still Martin. They've given her a lot of space, and she buries another upper V. They gave her way too much room, and she put it away. Jet sweep touchdown for Michael Pardonita. This one will take a beautiful Sunday hop for Bailey. He's looking for some space to develop, looking for some blockers. He's going to make a man miss. That's video game stuff right there. To the sideline, to the house, touchdown, Merrill.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor.
Oh, 6:30
when you're in a
pregame,
hurry.
7 o'clock is the tip-off against Cal Baptist, the only undefeated team in America. That's right, J.J. Buck will have the call. WNIT here on the Sports Animals. It's the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. J.J., Bill says, we didn't ask Richard Pitino maybe the most important question of all. And maybe he's right. I thought when he said this, it kind of was assumed, and this is going to be the Fraschilla-esque piece to you, when he calls him Dick Pitino, said he was looking forward to being at a place that's not in the shadow of the Twins and the Vikings, etc. There is a downside. A lot of folks have their noses in your program, from the presidents and her main campus minions, the governor and the regents. How does he plan to keep control when others want to take the wheel? That's what hurt Weir as much as anything. Look, the downside of not having the Vikings and the Twins and the Wild and the Timberwolves and everything else is you are the show. And I remember when Fran Fraschilla came, and one of the things that stood out, and this is, I'm not comparing necessarily the two because I think they're different, and I think they're differently prepared for this. But Fran says, look, I've dealt with the New York media. This will be nothing. Well, you were at St. John's where, I don't know, I think we counted at one point you were basically 13th on the totem pole, right? Behind the Mets and the Yankees and the Knicks and the Nets and the Jets and the Giants and the Islanders and the Rangers and then maybe we can start talking. I think that probably the soccer teams were in front of him, and it's a different beast. The fishbowl effect, and he's right, man. The governor wants to be involved at times, depending on who the governor is, and the regents certainly want to be involved, and everybody wants to be involved in running Lobo basketball. He's not wrong with that, and I think that's something that Eddie had to realize. And people can tell you all they want about this place and how it's run, but I think until you sit in those chairs, and I've never sat in them. I've watched them from afar or maybe a closer distance. I don't know. But it's a different beast, and I think he's as prepared as he can be for it. But I think you learn along the way. Dang, this is really what they all said it was.
Absolutely, and it's a situation that if you're successful, then you don't have to worry about those things. those things really become issues when you're not winning and you're having issues arise in your program, then guess what? Yeah, you're going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to answer to a lot more people than you initially expected. Because when this program was rolling good with Steve Alford, I don't think anyone was worried about them being in that fishbowl effect, the biggest show in town, because that's what you want. And you got to take the good, the bad as well when it comes with that. And you talk about that all the time, Jeff, the challenges that you have to rise to the occasion for. You can't just be there when things are going good. You have to be able to roll with the punches, address things, handle issues that arise when they're not quite going well.
Yeah, it's interesting because I think when Steve was here, Steve was a different personality in a different situation. Steve kind of reported directly, and I say reported, dealt with directly the president. I think it was fairly well documented that David Schmidley, the president at the time, who had his ties to Texas Tech, and Bobby Knight, and was the guy who, quote unquote, and hired Steve, and I've heard many stories where Steve would just go past Paul Krebs and go to the president when he wanted stuff, and there was something to, and the president accepted that. If you go back to Dave Bliss, Dave and Rudy had a really interesting relationship, and you had, but still everybody wanted in, right? It's a different spot in where I can't tell you it's the only place because I don't know that. But it's unique where, I don't know a lot of places where the basketball coach and the governor have a relationship, where you hear, legislators and telling you how it should be run, and the regents who are appointed by the governor have a say. And the last go around, Rob Doty, the head regent, had a big part in the hire when Paul Weir was hired, and he overruled a hire. And so it's a different. Bill's not wrong on that. When it comes down to it's not even the outside noise and the intense media scrutiny, although that's part of it. It's how many people are kind of in your business. It's a different spot, man.
Absolutely, and it's one that, like you said, you never fully know until you get in it. All the cooks in the kitchen that want to have a say in how you're putting that meal together. But I do think, too, at least what we've seen with Eddie Nunez, the way he's ran the athletic department, how the university has handled things for President Stokes in these situations, seems like she is, while, of course, a decision maker, does listen to Eddie Nunez and allows him, all right, to steer this ship and do his job as an athletic director, which I think has definitely been a positive, to get things kind of back on track over the last few years.
So I think that relationship, and that's actually a really good point, because we've got a lot of presidents run through here. Now, I haven't had a lot of athletic directors. I mean, it's been Rudy and Paul and Eddie since 1994, I want to say. I mean, that's a pretty good run of athletic, just stability in the athletic director chair. But you've had a lot of presidents run through. And this particular president, I'm not going to tell you it's the best because I don't know that it is. I think when Dr. Peck was president and Rudy were the AD, I think that it was a really good synergy then too. But I think President Stokes allows Eddie to do what he needs to do. I think Eddie feels like he's got a strong enough presence and trust with this president that go do your job. And I think what we all want. What we all want is hire me to do my job. Let me do my job. If I screw this thing up, let's sit down and have a conversation. But none of us want to be micromanaged, right? None of us do. I don't want to manage that way. I don't want to be managed that way. And I think there's not a lot of universal things, but I think that's something that most of us want. And in this situation in the athletic department, I think you've got people in place now where Eddie's not going to micromanage his coaches. He doesn't want to. He's got enough crap to deal with. If I hired you, go do your job, and you got a problem, come to me and I'll help you solve it. But I also feel from the administration, this president feels that way, and I'm not sure I felt that way with every president, and certainly every board of regents. And I'll tell you another one, and this was kind of a quieter thing. Jack Fortner was appointed to the Board of Regents, I want to say just last week, and I think that's a real positive, for the university, because I think Jack was a really, really, really solid regent. And disclaimer, I know Jack, he's a friend of mine, but he is very, very athletic supportive, but understanding, and I think for athletics as well as the entire university, Jack Fortner being back on the Board of Regents is going to be a big positive there. So, but it's interesting because I'm not sure. To Bill's point, I thought of it in those terms outside of the media scrutiny, with just the intense. Everybody runs global basketball, man. Everybody does. I don't think football's as bad. I don't think Danny's got it as much as it's global basketball, man. Every legislator wants to be involved, and I say everyone. I mean, obviously not, but you've seen it.
Yeah, it adds to that is why people want to be here when it's good, because of what it can be, how it can resonate amongst Lobo fans. But you got to be ready for when those bumps in the road happen and how you can handle them.
All right, Byron Matos is leaving, or maybe is he leaving? We're going to talk about that, and just kind of the next step is going to be. I was asked yesterday, well, what does he got to do first? What's first? Well, he's putting his staff together and recruiting a roster, and basically recruiting people on this roster as well as trying to fill his roster. So that's coming up next at 505-246-0610 if you want to get in, or 888-922-0610. Gentlemen, it's Thursday. How you feeling? Day after St. Patrick's Day. Well, yeah, maybe a little better than on other St. Patrick's Day. I don't know, but if you're dealing with things like fatigue, hair loss, low T, those things are natural as you age, and there's a good chance it's going to happen to you. The beauty is there's something you can do to battle nature and feel like you again. If you're experiencing those things, you're regularly tired, maybe carrying a few extra pounds, or dealing with erectile dysfunction, I strongly suggest you call New Male. New Male has led the way in helping men deal with these issues, and they've done that for years. Their testosterone replacement utilizes the latest cutting-edge technology, and men all over the country have benefited from it, and they feel better. Call them. The number is 505-652-1688, or visit Numale, that's NUMALE.com. Fellas, Numale's convenient. They're right here in Albuquerque. The process is comfortable. Starts with your phone call all the way through the treatment. Numale guides you through the process, and the best part is the results are real. 505-652-1688. Don't put it off. Take care of you. Visit Numale.com or call 505-652-1688 and feel better.
Need a great loan for a new home?
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili, breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog! Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus. No jobs. Sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green.
And keep the community green as well.
Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment.
You trash it.
All right, so what's your roster going to look like next year? And the answer is who knows. A lot of buzz when Jamal Mashburn Jr. Entered the transfer portal out of Minnesota. Immediate. Oh, he must be following Richard Pitino here. Maybe. That'd be nice. Who knows? Byron Matos in the transfer portal, although we said that doesn't mean he's leaving necessarily. He wants to explore his options. The opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. McQuatch Malwatch, according to Van Tate, and I trust Van on this, said last night that he's going to hire an agent and go make some money playing basketball and not take that free year that the NCAA is offering. McQuatch had a terrific career at the University of New Mexico. So, JJ, let's start with Matos. Big deal, little deal, no deal that he's in the transfer portal.
Little deal. It's you have to expect this. It's a coaching change, and the place a coach leaves and a place a new coach comes into, you're going to have a roster of uncertainty. You're going to have a lot of players going, what does this mean for me? What is my next step? And especially the year in which this team is coming out of, even when you say, hey, it's not going to be like this again. This was a one-off. It was in the midst of a big global pandemic. It was crazy things. I'm sure you still have a lot of players and their families and their friends questioning things. What's this going to look like? What's it going to be like? We had players on both the men's and women's team that have never played a real live game in that building with fans. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, you can play in an empty building, but it hasn't lived up to what it was when you were recruited to play at the Pit. So, yeah, there's a lot of things going on. It's a little deal because you still need players on the roster to put a team together. And I think, Byron Matos has been someone that's been very intriguing. Yeah, he looks the part, but just because you look good doesn't mean you're a good basketball player. And I think that at times we saw some stretches from him improving, but this dude should be leading and rebounding every single game. He should just be a physical presence inside, and it wasn't quite that, but it's still someone that I'm like, all right, you get him to buy in. And I think that's a big question too, right, Jeff, is what happened at the end with Byron Matos?
I think it's a huge deal.
Was it grade related? Was it coaching related? Did he not show up for his team? Because then you're also going to have a tough conversation.
That's
sit
right.
down with Richard Pitino and say, all right, what happened? Heard a lot of things, heard this, heard that.
Yep,
are you in? What's the deal?
Yeah, I think all that's right. I think it's the deal. Now, I think it's how big of a deal is how good of a player do you think he is? And I've read stuff from good, he's a bust to damn, we could have developed this young man. I think there's some talent there to develop. Now, did he develop much in his freshman year? He developed some. I think there was a point after, I think it was the San Jose State win. JJ, was that the last win? Right? They split with Dixie and they split with San Jose State. They beat Air Force. The Air Force win. Where I remember in post game, and I asked the question because I firmly believe your two bigs, Matos and Manuel, were developing. They were getting better. Didn't you Didn't you think there was that point where they can run an offense through their bigs? Yeah. I'm not telling you they're dominant, great bigs, but you're seeing progress. And wasn't there the first game of that they shot like 15 for 16 between the two of them, right? And then the next game they were like 3 for 15 or something, right? To me, there's something there. And you're right. He looks great in the airport. He looks great coming off the bus, right? He looks great in pregame warmups. Could he be developed? I've watched big guys come through here that looked a lot worse than him in their freshman year, that were pretty damn good by the end. And I'm thinking Cam Bairstow. I'm thinking Daniel Ferris. Like both of those guys look a lot worse than him in their freshman year, didn't they?
They did. There's no doubt that Byron Matos is special when it comes to the weight room. I mean, he's a guy.
Well, but I mean, just on the basketball floor.
Well, I'm thinking more weight room because there's a lot of times the dude looks like he's never touched a basketball.
Okay.
It's like, all right, you do curls, but have you done a layup? You've been in a layup line.
But there's times where you go, all right. I mean, that was good. No, he misses a lot at the rim. Like I'm not telling you he's the greatest big man ever. What I'm saying is I'm watching a guy that's got this physical this gift, who Ferris and Bairstow did not have that, and I think he was a better player as a freshman than both of them were. And I watched what they became. Cam turned himself into an NBA player. Right? Daniel's making money all over the globe playing basketball. So to me it's a deal because it feels like a guy that you had here who had some physical talent that maybe could have been developed, and we'll see if he stays. But I'm with you on what happened at the end of the season stuff. Did you, because you're hearing all kinds of things, did you just quit on your team? You can't do that. If that's what, and a capital I and a capital F, if that's what happened, I got to talk to your teammates. What kind of teammate was he? And is this addition by subtraction? And honestly, JJ, I don't know the answer. You hear whispers, and so you're left to speculate, which is unfortunate because I hate doing that. But there's no way else to do this. I had heard that he wasn't going to play for Paul and whatever. I think Rod Brown's going to be interesting too. I mean, do you want Rod Brown back? The Wichita State transfer. He did play the last 2 games. What happened? Yeah. I'm interested to see. And I think this whole roster, you're going to go tick by tick by tick by tick down the line. And look, it won't surprise me if 8 of them are back, and it won't surprise me if it's 3.
Yes, and that's just the situation you're going to have when it's a team that struggled, brand new coach coming in. And that's why year one is kind of – I always take a step back. When I was looking at these coaches, for the most part, I wasn't analyzing their first year at an institution because there's just so many things that goes into it. If the team plays well, you have a little bit of success, it's gravy, and then it's going to ignite some stuff. But there's just so many unknowns. This is the ultimate unknown. We talk about the overall time, right? You're going to buy in. What's it going to be like? Well, let alone now in a year one situation with the roster that won 2 conference games. I have like 0 expectations at this moment in time.
I think your expectation for Lobo basketball, and I don't know that I've ever said this in my 25 years in this market, but I think your expectation for Lobo basketball next year has got to be very similar to what your expectations were last year for Lobo football. Get better and be competitive, right? And I think, inarguably, you saw Danny's team. They were competitive. They had the one blowout loss, but the Air Force shutout. They were competitive, not by the score, but if you watch the game, the turnovers in plus territory. And then they won their last 2 games and got better. I think really that's what your expectation has to be for Lobo basketball next year. You're going to have to be patient now. You're not raising a banner, I don't think, and cutting down nets in year one. But let's see. I could sing a totally different song in September if he's got all these guys coming in and your roster looks totally. I don't know. But as I sit here today, JJ, am I wrong? That and I know Lobo fan doesn't want to say, well, what do you mean we got to have expectations like football? Do you know where we are? Yeah, I know where we are. Do you realize what's going on over there? Do you realize what this young man is walking into? And like you said, man, when you remodel, you ever remodeled your house? I was at a buddy's house. They're remodeling everything, dude. The floors, the kitchens. Have you looked at what the place looks like? So.
Yeah, and it's right. We could be having a different conversation, but until then, you can't start jumping to things that aren't there.
Well, it's gonna be interesting. And Lobo fans' patience is gonna be interesting because he's gonna lose a game somewhere to the Aggies, or he's gonna lose a game to somebody that you don't think you should be losing to. And here we go, right? This guy can't coach, or what the hell's he doing? I mean, it's coming. How patient are you going to be? 505-246-0610 is how to get in. We'll talk NFL when we get back because there's a lot going on there. Jerry Palm is scheduled to be with us coming up at 8:30 this morning. The NCAA tournament begins today. You got the first four. You had NIT last night. Got to get into the Sean Bradley story because that is just gut-wrenching too. So we're here for you. And again, emails come in, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. Hey, it's spring break time, and a lot of you are going to load up the kids, you load up the dog, hit the road for some fun. I mean, you've been cooped up for so long. Then you're going to get back home, and the vehicle's going to be dirty on the outside. The inside's going to stink, qualify for federal aid. On-the-spot automotive detailing should be one of your first calls you make. You might even have sand and salt from winter still sitting there damaging your paint. On the spot will get rid of that too. And you do not have to take it to them. They will come to you. That's the beauty of this. They come to your home, come to your office, and they give your vehicle a thorough cleaning inside and out, detailing it. Sand and salt from the winter, stains and spills, pet hair, all of it gone. Maybe you go to one of those big car washes. They got hundreds of vehicles go through them every day. Unless they keep those brushes clean, they may scratch your paint. They're usually done in about 7 minutes. 7 minutes! How good can that be? I guarantee you not as good as what On-the-Spot Automotive Detailing does. They will spend an hour, maybe more, and they will get the job done right. This is phenomenal. Every one of you who's used it, well, not every one of you maybe, but a lot of you who've used it, come back and tell me, dang, Jeff, that's really cool. Thanks for turning me on to that. And by the way, you're welcome. 505-859-2859 is the number. 505-2859. Or go to otsdetailing.com. You're welcome.
At Wendy's? Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Art Sandoval in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Talk to State Farm agent Greg Shamus today.
Thank you to Greg Shamus for his support of ProView Networks.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sport shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. Turbo Threads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for Turbo Threads.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Ashley Duran in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
No, right through the wickets. Did that go? Yes, it did.
Tough serve. Here we go.
That's a great serve, ace by Vance to a kill, and then an ace for the 5'9" 8th grader. Vance, another ace. So back-to-back aces by the
ballot, by the way. I'll go over my ballot with you. Player of the year in college basketball. Gosh, it's hard every year, and I always play with the ballot. You got to vote 1 through 10. I think there's 15 guys on the ballot. Then you vote 1 through 10. So the opening drive, Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. All right, noise around Deshaun Watson yesterday. And he says that there's nothing to it, that it's baseless. Massage therapists, 2 of them in Houston, are going after him and filed civil lawsuits against the quarterback of the Houston Texans, alleging inappropriate conduct during massages, 2 separate occasions, 2 separate plaintiffs. The first one was filed earlier this week in Harris County. It alleges inappropriate conduct at the massage therapist's home back in March of 2020. That's last year, a year ago. The second one allegedly occurred August of 2020. Because they're there, they ring a bell. Now, I'm not gonna convict a man because of allegations. We know that, but it's certainly
Carlos
nothing
Savant.
you ever want to be associated with, and I think it's got some radars up. I don't think it diminishes the desire for him to be on your team. I don't believe that it's going to want Houston to keep him any less, or any team less interested in him in a potential trade. However, there's certainly smoke.
Yeah, first and foremost, you don't want to think about the quarterback and the player before this. Like, there's allegations that need to be investigated. Deshaun Watson has spoken out against them, saying, "I gladly take this to court to clear my name." So as that process plays out, you want to have that be separate from football, but then there is the trickle-down effect. And this story can get crazy because there's people actually thinking, like, who leaked this? Did someone put this out there intentionally to diminish his trade value, to make sure he stays in Houston? So you start getting to the wild stuff about it, but this is something, Deshaun Watson does have to deal with. He's been adamant that he is, going to clear his name and let the process play out.
I think of this in so many different angles. If it's true, it bothers me. If it's not true, it bothers me. If you're a guy like that, and a guy like that means, I guess any athlete or anybody making a bunch of money that somebody could, and again, I'm not saying that's what's happening here, could go after you for a 6-figure settlement. I mean, you go get a massage, you have to have someone sit in the room to watch as a witness? You know what I'm saying? Like just to protect yourself, do you have to hire someone to come by and be where does it end if and again, gigantic capital IF on this, because maybe this could be true. I don't know Deshaun Watson, nor do you. But every aspect of it troubles me. If it's true, obviously it's disturbing. If it's not true, it's, dare I say, just as obviously disturbing?
It is. So there's, the extortion attempt in this then, and then, of course, the character of Deshaun Watson and the stuff that he has to face in public, trying to defend himself, which is definitely a challenge. But like you said, it's allegations. At this point in time, Deshaun Watson has spoken out against it, and so you want to deal with that stuff. But then the effects of it are, all right, what does that do for his career and what he's trying to do right now? And this conversation between Deshaun Watson and the Texans, and then Houston deciding, if he's going to be their quarterback or not when he says, "I don't want to be here."
Yeah. All right, Carlos, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. How you living, Carlos?
Just dropped.
Oh, he just dropped. Thanks, Carlos. I guess we're different subject. All right, other stuff. NFL, Curtis Samuel. This one, the number on this surprised me. I think Curtis Samuel is a nice player. I believe this is his fourth year. He was with Carolina, free agent. 3 years, $34.5 million with Washington. I think Curtis Samuel's a nice piece. He's a very versatile piece. Carolina used him in the backfield last year. He lines up in the slot. You can use him as a running back. He's a deep threat. He's versatile. I just never thought of him as being a breakthrough player like that. He's a nice piece. $34.5 million over 3 with Washington. That surprise you at all?
No, that's
going rate.
That's a good deal. $10 million a year for a guy that was just as good as DJ Moore and even outplayed him at times.
He did outplay him at times. Yeah.
And now you put him on with Terry McLaurin, legit weapons on the outside for whoever's going to be quarterbacking the Washington football team. That's a solid deal for a young playmaker that has that kind of versatility.
All right. I thought it was a big number for a guy who I thought was good, but I just never put him in my mind in that stratosphere. Patrick Peterson, the defensive back, 1 year, $10 million with Minnesota. That feels like a pretty good deal for Minnesota to me.
Mike Zimmer likes his veteran defensive backs. 1 year deal, bring Patrick Pete in there, a guy that can still compete, be good in that secondary. And, yeah, there's some deals that were on the cheap. Hassan Reddick as well going to Carolina, 1 year, $8 million deal coming off the season he had in Arizona. And that's the thing is you're going to get. There's going to be some nice bargains in this market for teams with the cap challenge of this season with it being low.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what players are going to have to accept too. And that you also may see some guys just holding out and signing really late. All right, we can get NFL, the Sean Bradley story. And if you've not heard this, the former BYU star, we'll get into that next because this one, man, the outpouring yesterday was pretty insane too. Just a brutal story. It's the opening drive. Jerry Palm's due to be with us at 8:30. We'll talk NCAA tournament with him on the opening drive on ProView Networks at 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
8th grader.
No, right through the wickets. Did that go? Yes, it did.
Tough serve. Here we go.
That's a great serve, ace by Vance will kill, and then an ace for the 5'9" 8th grader. Vance, another ace. So back-to-back aces by the 8th grader. Another third successive ace got. Yarno back to pass, looking left, looks to his right, throws, caught, touchdown. Touchdown, Western New Mexico. The run may be coming here. One we've won. Only the keeper to beat, and she does. Rio Rancho's on.
Ferreira, and one run's going to come around to score. Here comes another run, and the Cowboys play two more.
Delivers. That one's driven to right field, over the head of the right fielder. That one's out of the park, a home run. And that's directly into the wind. I mean, I don't know what happened there, but she got around on it. She'd hit one like that earlier in the game, but it was foul. Didn't go out, but that one carried and went out of the park.
Man in motion in front of Sordin. He'll get it on a power sweep. On the first play of the game, and he might be off to the races. Nobody in front, and we're going to have an opening touchdown for the Buffaloes.
That's driven deep to left. That ball is history. A three-run bomb for Mr. Galen Young, and the Cowboys lead it 3-0.
Midfield by Molina. Now it's Martin. Still Martin. They've given her a lot of space, and she buries another upper V. They gave her way too much room, and she put it away. Jet sweep touchdown for Michael Cardonita. This one will take a beautiful Sunday hop for Bailey. He's looking for some space to develop, looking for some blockers. He's going to make a man miss. That's video game stuff right there. To the sideline, to the house, touchdown, Merrill.
Two-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Siembieda, and J.J. Bond. Don't sweat the technique.
Well, on a day where many of you will go out, I've been told to wear a hat, by the way. It's going to be 70. My bald head's going to burn. Meet Richard Pitino, your new head coach. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. Noon press conference. Public's invited. University Stadium. Football stadium to meet your new coach. That's the COVID times. They can do what you need to do outside and be safe. And so you're stoked. The Lobo Hobo said it must be sweeps month, Jeff. Is this the first time you're taking a trip on Jeffrey Candelaria's show? I'll be on his show on Saturday at 2. Better take your shades and extra sunscreen for your bald head. Expected to be 70 degrees, so the top will be down. Yep. You going out there today? You going to be able to make it, or are you going to watch on the street? So I'm going to see you in person, like real live?
Dude. I'll be lurking in the shadows.
You don't have to come by and say, hey. I mean, whatever.
Edward and Michael on the line.
No, however you want to
I think I'll actually have the little guy with me, so I'll
sweet.
Run the stairs, get some energy out.
There you go. Yeah, so go on that side. Just run those stairs. Take a nap, kid. All right. Let's go to the phones. 505-246-0610. Edward, good day, sir. How you living?
It's a beautiful day. 70 degrees. No wind or slight wind. The crusher might have to drop the top on the convertible today. I'm looking forward to that. You know, with the brackets that people are filling out, I reiterate this every year. The only bracket you should be concerned with is your income tax bracket. It's fun, though. I understand. It's good to fill that thing out, but I put more mental cognitive energy behind the tax bracket. The Sean Bradley situation is very, very unfortunate. Joe Rogan podcast, which is stellar and phenomenal. Outside of J.J. Buck's podcast, it's the best I've heard. And J.J. might just have him clipped. But he had Elon Musk on it a while back, and they talked about they're working on a cure for paralysis and alternative solutions, which would be a game changer in society for the military and, people that have been in tragic car accidents and debilitating diseases that have caused paralysis. So I hope and pray, because I think it would change the lives of several people, countless people.
Obviously.
But just prayers out to Sean Bradley. That's so sad, right? I know you're going to expand on it in a little bit. I love Jeffrey. Jeffrey and I are friends outside of this show, and we talk on occasion. He's so brilliant. And because I have my French roots from the old country, he always uses the term je ne sais quoi, and quite succinctly described as a quality that cannot be described or named easily, which he nailed that when he described the hire. I'm not a huge Lobo fan, but, when in Rome, do as the Romans. So I hope I think it's going to be a very fun hire. I think they're going to have some marked success. Talking to some guys at the gym yesterday, when Richard Pitino was at Minnesota and you got to go fight Michigan State and Michigan and Indiana, and you have some success in that realm, I think he's going to do well here. And I jokingly say they should have hired Rick Pitino Sr. and we'd be in the Elite Eight within 3 years, and then probably on suspension 3 years later. But I like the hire, and I hope there's great things coming for this program. I think it's going to be fun. Quickly on the NFL, the Watson situation. Who knows what's going on? And all that with all that chaos. But I think we're going to see one, if not two, major quarterback trades. Might be him, and it might be Russell Wilson, up to draft day or even on draft day. I just think there's going to be. We're not done yet, and I think it's going to be interesting. James White's probably going to get released by the New England Patriots. And I've said this before, if he gets picked up by Tampa, look out. Because that's just another ingredient that's comfort level with Brady, and it's going to be very fun to watch. Thank you for letting me share my thoughts. Love the program. Love the content. You guys are awesome. Have a great day.
Thank you, Edward. The beauty of his calls. When he goes Mark Ronchetti off the top, and every day gives you a weather report. Like, I don't even have to watch the news or listen to weather. I look outside. I know if I should, put on an extra layer because I get a weather report.
With that and your surf report, you're set.
Isn't that the truth? Ralph, need a little surf report out of North County today. Michael, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Michael.
Good morning. Yeah, I called yesterday and I really didn't finish. I had to say, I just think this morning, global basketball is like a fishbowl. I mean, it's the best thing about it, but it's also the worst thing about it. It's the biggest game in town in this area, except for Aggies. Aggies is pretty good. Aggies has been a little bit better, but it's just because it's so big here, we have to strive for excellence. You know, that's the way I look at it. I don't think they hired the best company to do the renovation at the pit. Could have done better in that area. It just like we're like doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's all I'm saying. We have to strive for excellence in this with Lobo basketball, I think.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and A, don't you think that's what they're doing? Don't you think they're believing that they're striving for excellence? And B, what would you have done differently?
Someone doesn't have to be from this city. Just someone from the area, a little bit closer. Keller would have a little bit closer. He's a stickler for fundamentals. I don't know. Patino's got my 100% support. You know, I got no. You know, I hope he proves me wrong. Prove me wrong, like Alfred.
Right.
Alfred proved me wrong. That's what I want.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? He might be really good.
All right, got it.
That's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. I got to believe every hire that's made, whether it was Richie McKay or Fran Fraschilla or Paul Weir or Steve Alford, or Richard Pitino, the people making that hire believe that they are making an excellent hire. I think they're striving for excellence. I mean, I'm not. You know, pit renovations is a whole other story. I believe that's what they're doing. I think everybody involved believes that they need to be held to that standard of excellence. I do. And that's the inexact science of this hire, or really, and I don't know that hiring a basketball coach is any more exact or inexact than making any other hire. If you've ever made a hire, you realize sometimes you hit a home run, and sometimes you think you're hitting a home run, and it didn't work. You hire people, and then they got to go perform. Right? You can do as much due diligence as you want. You elect an official, and then that person's got to go do the job. It's on Richard, right?
Yeah, it's not like the coach, like Richard coming in. He's not coming in here going, "Oh, I recruited these dudes in Minnesota. I can do the same thing at New Mexico." No, you have to adapt to the athletes that you're going to be able to have conversations with, and also your environment. And he knows that. And I know that's a question with a lot of people is, well, you're coming from the Minnesota and Big Ten. Well, how are you supposed to recruit it in Mexico? What do you know about New Mexico? Well, he knows enough about where he has to recruit from. And you asked him that yesterday, and he said, oh, well, where do we have to live? We have to live Texas, California, look up at Colorado, look at Arizona, and then win the in-state kid if it's there. It's not breaking news. He understands that. And just because you might not be from the Southwest doesn't mean he doesn't know where to go or what to do in these states.
I know our audience turns over, and sometimes I feel like I'm saying things over and over again, but Bob King wasn't from here. His name's on the court. Norm Ellenberger wasn't from here. Hell, Michael Cooper wasn't from here. Right? And more recently, if you prefer, Steve Alford wasn't from here.
How's Chris Jans doing?
Yeah, Chris Jans doing all right. Eddie Nunez wasn't from here. I wasn't from here. I've been here 25 years. At some point, maybe I'm from here. I don't know. I think I've done okay. Those guys did okay. If someone's willing to get involved in this community, to accept this community, become a part of this community, and to contribute to this community, Michael, please don't take this as because it's not demeaning to anybody who's from here. But I would rather have someone who is not from here who wants to contribute, grow, improve this place than someone who's from here and wants to live on those laurels. And I'm not suggesting anybody that you're saying that's just they want to just get in because they're from here. But as much as that is a part of the equation, like the record is part of the equation, like what's your familiarity, it can't be the overriding piece of the puzzle. It can't be. And in this situation, like every other situation, JJ, I'm going to absolutely insist that Eddie believes he's made an excellent hire. And time's going to tell. But it's like hiring anything else, whether you hire somebody to run your office or you hire somebody to lead your sales team or hire somebody to run your company. You do your due diligence, you believe you made the best hire, and now they got to go do the job, whether they're from here or not. Steve Alford wasn't from here. You guys love him. Bob King wasn't from here. I wasn't from here. Eddie Nunes wasn't from here. You got people all over the place that have come from other places and done really, really, really good things here. And you have people who are from here who have done that as well. So it's not exclusive. 505-246-0610. Jerry Palm will be with us at the bottom of the hour.
Let me tell you where you can go this weekend, today, tomorrow. F45 training, as we're sitting here looking forward to the warmer weather, being more active. I know the last year, especially for me, it's probably been tough looking for that motivation. We've been concerned about our health, but what about the fitness side of it? F45 training is team training, high-intensity circuit training in 45-minute classes. I absolutely love it. There's no wasted time. And if you haven't done circuit training, high-intensity training, it's awesome. It's functional training. It's different movements. There's new classes every single day, and it's for all fitness levels. If you're someone that's looking to kickstart your fitness or someone that wants to challenge yourself to go to the next level, F45 training is the place for you. The gym is open 7 days a week, so there's a class that will fit your schedule. Check them out at f45training.com or download the F45 app to sign up for your 7-day free trial. Book your next class and join me at F45. They clean the gym before and after classes. You sanitize the equipment you use quickly between your sets. So really you can just focus on getting a good workout and what is a really good atmosphere. Because initially I was a little nervous getting back into it. What's it going to be like? They do a great job at F45. All the trainers, everyone involved, making you feel comfortable, getting you excited to get a challenging workout done. They're located at 5920 Holly Northeast, Paseo and I-25, so it's really good access from wherever you're coming from in the city. As I mentioned, classes 7 days a week, so download the app. Take a look at their schedule at f45training.com. Team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
The quesalupa from Taco Bell is back with its cheese-stuffed...
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Art Sandoval in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
All right, I want to get into the Sean Bradley stuff too at some point. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. But let's go. Let's get more of your opinion in here. Chuck, good morning. Thanks for holding. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hi, Chuck.
Hi. How are you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Are either of you familiar with Jeff Mayotte? I guess that's how you pronounce his last name.
I'm not sure I am.
He was a coach down at an assistant down at New Mexico State a few years ago, and this last year he was a coach up at University of Minnesota with Rick Pitino. And I noticed that he's no longer listed as a coach up there. They just pulled his name off of their website, and I'm wondering if Pitino's going to bring him along.
I guess there's a potential that JJ, I haven't heard anything about what Richard's going to do with his staff. Have you?
Not yet.
Yeah. Well, if he did bring him along, it would be kind of interesting because he might answer the question about who's going to recruit California and Texas, because he has ties to both of those places.
Yeah. Well, I got to believe someone on Richard's staff will have a pretty good base in this part of the country. That'd be my guess.
Okay. That's all I had. Just thought I'd check and see if you've heard anything.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard anything. Thanks, Chuck. JJ, on that front, you see, I mean, he knows, and he mentioned it on our show yesterday, right? He said, look, if there's a player in New Mexico, we want him, but we know that we're going to have to recruit Texas and Arizona and California, and he mentioned Las Vegas. And there's a lot of people in that business, and with whom he's familiar, I'm certain, that have their connections, have their bases in this part of the country. I like that would be part of one of those. I'd have the conversation, but I'd have to be confident in that part of his hiring, wouldn't you?
Yes, and I think that once people take a step back and look at these coaches overall, they realize it doesn't matter where you're based. Most of these guys are still getting players from all over the place. You look at Pitino's roster. There's a kid from Germany. There's a kid from Texas. There's a transfer from Utah. There's a transfer from Pittsburgh. Like, these coaches are well connected all over the place, and who knows where the relationship is going to take you. Obviously, there's bases that you want to recruit more so than others, but you're still going to try to bring in the best athlete you can and put that student athlete in the best position. And I don't think we're going to see a situation, I know a lot of people, as we've discussed, Fran Fraschilla, where it's, I'm just going to bring a bunch of East Coast guys. No, you're going to take a player from wherever he is if he's good and he wants to be here, but that there's certain areas that there might be more of those guys that you could find for your program.
So, and it didn't work well for Fran, and I think that's right. Who he was recruiting. Do you remember who Steve Alford's first recruit was?
Isn't Darius Gary?
It was Darius Gary. Do you remember where he was from? What state?
Indiana.
That's correct. Is Indiana this region? It's not considered this region, is it? By any means, unless you're talking about globally, is Indiana considered this region of the country? All right. How did Darius Gary work? So my point to you is there are no exacts. There are no exclusive facts when it comes to this. You can make comparisons, and you could be right in comparisons. But each individual is going to stand on his or her own merit. And Richard may recruit a kid from New Mexico, and he may recruit a kid from Minnesota, and he may recruit a kid from Rhode Island. And it may or may not work. And this is going to be, look, and by the way, it's not going to go 100% either way. It's not going to work 100% and not going to not work 100%. This is where you're going to have to let this man do his job, right? And realize, and here's the other part of it. There's a lot on the line for Richard. As big as a hire as this is for the university and for Eddie, it's a pretty big step in Richard's career. Don't you think he's at the crossroads of his career? I think he realizes how big of a job this is, how important it is to get this right and to do well here too. This man's coming in. He's not trying to screw this thing up or stick it to anybody. Like, he's trying to do everything to do best, obviously for this university, but for his career. And so he's gonna. This is where I'm gonna trust the man. He was hired to do a job. I'm gonna let him do his job. Now, it may or may not work, but.
100%. I'm right there. If he's 500 at New Mexico, he's not getting hired again, to make a move up. So he understands, and that's the marriage between Pitino and Nunez in New Mexico at this point in time. It's all right. Can you take that experience, those times where you had success, and then those other battles you were in, and then translate it to the University of New Mexico? That's what you're doing when you're hiring someone. You take their resume and then put it to where it needs to be. And I'm cautiously optimistic. I want this to be exciting. I want this to be good. I can't wait until there's the rivalry games again. You have the battles competing in the Mountain West. That's what you want from this program. And think, as right now, you have a guy that can do that.
Yeah, I just, you guys, this is again, I say the beauty of the curse of these forums, because everybody's got their opinions, and I get it, and you might be right. And I think there's a little bit of truth lying in all of these things. But the two that I don't buy into is you got to be from here, and because it's worked, that's exclusive, and that any one factor is exclusive. All right, Jerry Palm's going to be with us when we come back, and we're going to talk to him about the tournament. I'm interested, and I know you are as well, to hear his thoughts on the Richard Pitino hire as well. I want to tell you back in 2003 about my experience with LASIK, because when I went to see Dr. Coleman, I tell you, it changed my life. Not a lot of things change your life, but this changed my life. I was wearing glasses and contacts and getting up at 4 in the morning or 3 in the morning, anchoring the news at 5, makeup and all that crap, and I didn't want to deal with it. And I went to see Dr. Coleman, and I was diagnosed with a high degree of astigmatism, and they took care of it. And the technology that he uses is cutting edge. Dr. Stephen Coleman plays a huge role in developing and testing the current technology that he uses. It's used around the world and originated here at Siembieda Labs. And that's why people come from all over the country to get their LASIK done at Coleman Vision. The Colemans became family, and I love them. I see them, and the bottom line is, not only is he the best at what he does, they're some of the best people you'll ever meet. I had my surgery done at 1 in the afternoon, anchored the news at 5 in the morning with no lenses, and it's been that way. It's 2021, you guys, 18 years later, and I use reading glasses because that's natural as you get older, but I don't wear contacts. I haven't worn glasses since. It's changed my life. If you think that you're a candidate for LASIK, if you are done with contacts, lenses, fogged up glasses because of masks, Coleman Vision is your spot. It's the only place to go. ColemanVision.com. Take a look at everything that's going on there, or call them at 505-821-8880. Seeing is believing, and I sure as heck believe.
Sponsored by Daffodil Days.
Join Presbyterian.
Talk to State Farm agent Greg Shamus today.
Thank you to Greg Shamus for his support of ProView Networks.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Ashley Duran in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
shot. No, right through the wickets. Did that go? Yes, it
did go in.
did.
Tough serve. Here we go.
That's a
Ace.
great serve, ace by Vance. So a kill and then an ace for the 5'9" 8th grader. Vance, another ace. So back-to-back aces by the 8th grader. Another third successive ace. Got
Postseason hoops all over these sports animal. Of course, we're the home here in the Budokai for the NCAA tournament. Tomorrow, Lobo women's basketball starts the WNIT against the only undefeated team in the country, Cal Baptist and UNM. 6:30 pregame show, 7 o'clock. JJ will have the call here on the Sports Animal. Of course, first four tonight, you get UCLA, Michigan State in the first four, Wichita State and Drake. Some really good games. Don't forget Mount St. Mary's and Texas Southern either. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal. Jeff Siembieda and JJ Buck. Check in with, gosh, he gets a lot of airtime these days. Good haircuts. I told Jerry, and I haven't been to the office yet, JJ, I got to get him a New Mexico Bowl pennant or something for his home studio. What's up, Jerry Palm? How you living?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
All right. You ready for all this madness to start, or is it kind of now that the brackets are put together, you get to breathe a little bit?
I don't normally. Normally, I'm on my way to cover the tournament somewhere.
I know.
This year, I'm not covering it because it's just the limitations of COVID. We're not sending as many people this year. So I'm going to go as a fan to a few games so far. But
nice.
I'm not going to be covering it. So that alone will be different. It is a bit disorienting to not be getting ready to go somewhere. Or actually, in this case, because it's Thursday, already be somewhere.
Yeah, everything about it's where JJ and I were talking just last week. I mean, I can't recall the last conference tournament week on a Thursday that I haven't talked to you from Las Vegas. It was weird
exactly.
not being in the conference tournament. So, hey, before we get into that, just your thoughts on New Mexico's hire. Richard Pitino got let go on 2 nights ago, and then 13 hours later, he was announced.
It didn't even take 24 hours, did it?
Yeah, no. What was your thought of that hire?
Well, I don't know what his fit is at New Mexico. I can't really speak to that. You and I have talked before that I think the fit within the culture and the community of the school is a very important thing when it comes to coaching hires. But I can't really speak to that. But I thought he did a decent job at Minnesota. It's a tough place to win. He got some good players in there. This year they were probably on their way to a low seed in the NCAA tournament, and then the injuries hit late in the season, and they just couldn't do anything. So, and part of that is the margin for error in the Big Ten this year is so small that and if you're not 100%, you're really going to be in for some trouble. And but I don't know. I thought he did a decent job there. I'm not surprised he found another job. I am surprised he found another job within 10 minutes of losing the first one. But that's the coaching hire process is usually longer than that.
Yeah, obviously that was done before, and it was no surprise that Richard was on his way out, and so Eddie Nunez, the athletic director here, who played for Billy Donovan.
They had some relationship, I assume?
Well, the coaching tree, right? Billy Donovan's off of Rick Pitino's coaching tree. Right? Billy Donovan played for Rick and then coached for Rick, and then Richard coached when he left Rick. He coached for Billy Donovan at Florida. So the idea and the coach, Eddie said he never really knew him. He met him a few times, but their relationship is their mentors.
Got it. Okay.
So Jerry Palm's with us on the opening drive.
Well, Jerry, they're here, the brackets, selection, when it's all said and done. What did you think of the teams that made the NCAA tournament?
What do I think of the ones that did make it?
Yeah, were there any that you say, you know what, the Syracuse-Louisville thing, et cetera, was a big deal, or you said, you know what, they got it right, the 1 through 68?
Well, I always feel, as you guys have heard me say over the years, I always feel like everybody who got left out deserved it at some level, gave the committee a reason to leave them out.
Right.
For Louisville and St. Louis, they had significant COVID problems, and they came out of those COVID issues badly on the floor and damaged their resume. And because they only played 20 games each, didn't have the opportunities to make up for it, really. And I think that, in the end, that hurt them. I did not think Louisville would miss, but, I could certainly see why they did. And, the Wichita State almost missed, and they played 19 games, and they didn't even have their own COVID problem. But they just didn't play enough to show the committee more than they, as much as they could have. But the American Conference had 8 different teams that had at least one issue with COVID, where games were getting canceled, and Wichita State schedule got gutted because of other conference members' problems. And they almost didn't make the tournament. So only Drexel and Iona played fewer games in the regular season than Wichita State. And so if you didn't have a lot of games on your schedule, the committee had a hard time judging you, and you see it in lower seeds, and you see it in a couple of cases of not even getting in.
The bid stealers I'm sorry, JJ. The bid stealers came in and really caused havoc on the bubble. And like you said, you're giving them a reason not to put you in the Colorado States and Louisville's. But watching Oregon State and watching Memphis and these bid stealers come in really, really made things tough on those teams on the bubble come Saturday and Sunday.
What's funny is I missed 2 teams this year, and if we had no bid stealers, I would have not missed any.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yep. Because I had Louisville and Colorado State in, and my first 2 out were Utah State and Drake. So,
so you'd have them all.
I just had it a little bit backwards this year.
Well, Jerry, looking specifically at the 1 seeds, I know a lot of people are looking at Michigan and the struggles that they've had to end this season. So what do you think of an LSU or St. Bonaventure out of an 8-9 potential to go on a run?
Well, that would be interesting. I think either of them are capable, but I still think I think Michigan can get to the Sweet 16 without Isaiah Livers, which is their current problem. The Michigan didn't play that as well out of their COVID pause. It doesn't concern me as much as the fact that Isaiah Livers is not healthy, and nobody knows when he's coming back. I think they can get a couple of games deep without him. I don't know that they can do much more than that without him. But, if Michigan's not healthy or they have a bad day, either LSU or St. Bonaventure is good enough to beat them. And they would do it in different ways. But LSU is a team that's talented, and they're sitting in an 8 seed, probably underseeded. That's one of the teams I would have pegged as a little underseeded, so I'm sure Michigan's not real happy about that. But, yeah, Michigan is the one of the number 1 seed that I'm most concerned about.
Jerry, I really like Purdue, and I don't know if you're going to talk me out of it or into it, but I got them making a run to the Final Four. Is that ridiculous?
A little.
Yeah.
I think you're a year away on that pick, but Purdue has had a really good run. There's this stat out there that if you've like Ken Pomeroy's ranking, that the last 20 national champions or whatever have all been in the top 25 of his offensive and defensive efficiency rankings. And there are only 6 teams that qualify for that this year. Purdue's one of them. And the 4 number 1s, and I forget one of the number 2s, maybe Alabama, and then Purdue. So obviously they play both sides of the ball very well. It's a young team, depending heavily on freshmen. But the 4 juniors that play a lot are 2 years removed from a split second away from a Final Four berth. So, they have been through this before, but their leadership is going to be really important because Purdue has no seniors. That's why I say the year away comment. But I guess I would be more surprised than most if they made that kind of a run because I just have trouble seeing them getting past Baylor.
Yeah, Jerry, how would you rank the double-digit hype of Ohio over Virginia, Winthrop over Villanova, and Liberty over Oklahoma State?
I don't like Liberty. I do like Liberty, but I don't like that matchup. I just don't know what they do with Cade Cunningham. They just don't have an answer. They played Purdue early in the season, but when neither team knew what they were doing yet. And they have a nice defensive team. They always do, but that draw really stinks. Ohio State should be seated higher. Oklahoma State should be seated higher than the 4. Ohio over Virginia, I would give a shot. Ohio's got a legit NBA prospect. And Virginia, I don't think is showing up at Indianapolis until Friday. So we don't know what their conditioning and practice is going to be like going into that game. If I had known about Virginia's problems in advance, I probably would have picked Ohio, but I didn't. And then Winthrop, yeah, I definitely give them a shot. I actually picked that one. Villanova just hasn't been the same without Colin Gillespie. They're just not. They still got other players. Robinson Earl is a terrific player, an All-American level player, but they just haven't been right without Colin Gillespie running the show. So they are definitely ripe for an upset. And Winthrop has got one loss all year. So this is a team that, even though they're in the Big South, that's a team that does know how to win.
A few more minutes with CBS Sports' Jerry Palm. I'm going to ask you about the Mountain West teams. San Diego State is a 6 seed, gets an interesting draw with Syracuse. Utah State as an 11, doesn't even have to play in one of these first 4 games. I think it's a tough draw for them in Texas Tech. I like the Aztecs have won 14 in a row. If they get through Syracuse, I think they got a chance to make a little run.
Yeah, I think I would agree with that. If they can get through Syracuse. Which region are they in? They're in
the Midwest,
region,
bottom
right?
Yeah, the bottom right.
Yeah, so they've got it would be Syracuse, West Virginia. Yeah, they could. The Syracuse game is interesting because San Diego State's a top defensive team. Syracuse also known for their defense. And they each have like a star player that leads the offense. So I think it's an interesting game for San Diego State. I actually picked Syracuse, but that could definitely go either way. And of those teams that's capable of making a run, I would trust San Diego State to go more than one game before I would Syracuse.
They're going to have to shoot over that zone. They're going to have to hit shots. It comes down to Gomez and Shackle having to make shots and then finding other ways. And they got to control Boeheim because I was told JJ the other day, I mean, he's as good a shooter as I've seen in the NCAA in the last couple of years.
And he's really hot. Yeah. Well, okay, yeah. I mean, we're 2 years away from Carson Edwards putting up Steph Curry-like numbers in the tournament.
Well,
so, and go too far back.
Just a couple of years. That's what I'm saying. And Trey, Oklahoma, Trey Young at Oklahoma was terrific too. So,
yeah. But you're right. He's on a roll. And as for Utah State, I think playing Texas Tech is going to be in many ways like playing San Diego State. They have a terrific defense. They always do. They'll probably get physical with them. And they've got an outstanding scorer, Mac McClung, the Georgetown transfer. So I think in many ways it'll be like playing, a version of San Diego State that's at least as good, if not better.
Jerry, of the first 4 and the 11 seed matchups, who do you think has the best chance to go on a little run?
Michigan State, because of the battles that they've been through in the Big Ten. And the fact that they've been playing better lately. In fact, I was surprised to see them in the first 4. I would have thought they'd be ahead of Maryland, at least from the Big Ten. But they're not. So I like Michigan State. The UCLA is damaged. And so the problem for Michigan State, though, is scoring. They can defend, and they can grind you out. The problem for them has been scoring consistently, and it's the reason why they're an 11 seed and not better. They just had trouble finding a reliable scorer, but Aaron Henry has come on lately, and that's really given them a boost. But that's a team that's beaten 3 of the top 5 teams in this tournament, or 3 of the top 6 teams in this tournament, and there aren't very many other teams in this tournament that can say that. So it's a team that's definitely dangerous to win a game or maybe 2.
All right, enjoy it. Now you get to sit back and watch some games, root for your alma mater, and have some fun with it. Appreciate you spending some time with us. We'll catch up with you next Thursday.
All right, thanks.
Read them every day over on CBSSports.com and follow them on the Twitter at JPPalmCBS. The one, the only, the Jerry Palm is with us. It's good stuff. All right, you can respond to it at 505-246-0610. Love to hear your thoughts on what Jerry had to say. You trusted your home and your business security to a local company. They have an armed response, and then they sold out. You've been selected. Now your security's on the brink of being bought out by a national corporate giant, and that is not what you signed up for. It's not what you have to have. Call IPS. International Protective Service. That's the company I trust to watch my home, have for years. IPS isn't for sale. IPS is invested here in this community. They care about your home and your business security like it's their own. Let the highly trained armed guards and 24-hour patrols of IPS protect what is yours. I know you see their vehicles all around town. You see them everywhere. They're making a huge difference in this community. I trust them. I see them every day. They're coming by my home to check on it. You go out of town, they will give your home that lived-in look, pick up the newspapers and roll the garbage cans to the curb and back, your mail. If you got a package delivered, let them know. They'll pick it up for you. They do exterior checks. IPS gives us security. Don't wait until something bad happens. Call IPS and protect what's important to you. 505-897-2420, 505-897-2420, or visit them at ipsglobal.com.
Staples has everything your business needs to ship like you.
No, right through the wickets. Did that go? Yes, it did.
Tough serve. Here we go.
That's a great serve, ace by Vance. So a kill and then an ace for the 5'9" 8th grader. Vance, another ace. So back-to-back aces by the 8th grader. Another third successive ace. Giorno back to pass, looking left, looks to his right, throws, caught, touchdown. Touchdown, Western New Mexico. Another run maybe coming here. One we've won. Only the keeper to beat, and she does. Rio Rancho's on.
Ferreira, and one run's going to come around the score. Here comes another run, and the Cowboys play two more.
Delivers. That one's driven to right field, over the head of the right fielder. That one's out of the park, a home run. And that's directly into the wind. I mean, I don't know what happened there, but she got around on it. She hit one like that earlier in the game, but it was foul. Didn't go out, but that one carried and went out of the park.
Man in motion in front of Sordin. He'll get it on a power sweep. On the first play of the game, and he might be off to the races. Nobody in front, and we're going to have an opening touchdown for the Buffaloes.
That's driven deep to left. That ball is history. A three-run bomb for Mr. Galen Young, and the Cowboys lead it 3-0.
Midfield by Molina. Now it's Martin. Still Martin. They've given her a lot of space, and she buries another upper V. They gave her way too much room, and she put it away.
Jet sweep touchdown for Michael Pardonita. This one will take a beautiful Sunday hop for Bailey. He's looking for some space to develop, looking for some blockers. He's going to make a man miss. That's video game stuff right there. To the sideline, to the house, touchdown, Merrill.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
Car Crafters, it's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
All right, hope you enjoyed Jerry. Lobo Hobo did, but he said, new phone, nowhere to go, Jeff. Jerry sounds nice, but he didn't even get to go to the tournament? I know, dude. It's a weird year. It's life. I didn't get to go either. I still get to vote on the wooden, though. You going to help me with that, or you want me to just tell you what I'm going to do? I guess that's how it would go.
Just tell me
anyway.
what you're going to do.
All right. I'll let people in on that. Chris is in. So Edward called in and kind of disparaged and looked down his little condescending snoot at people who fill out brackets, right? Which includes me, by the way. I got a bracket. And I guarantee every damn one of you has one of these brackets as well. Right? You got one. You got even J-Pole. What do you
Nothing
know?
wrong
J-Pole?
with brackets.
What's that? A napkin, J-Pole? J-Pole's got a napkin. Brackets. I'd rather fill out my tax. All right, you do you, man. I heard Chris's feelings. Jeff says, Jeff, what's wrong with taking 5 minutes out of a year to put an NCAA tournament bracket together? It's as American as apple pie, enjoyed by everyone, including people who don't even watch college basketball. 5 minutes once a year for an NCAA bracket is way less time than 5 minutes per week for five-star picks and at least 5 minutes per day for Brady and Patriot takes, and it sounds like that isn't hurting your or anyone else's tax bracket. You're damn right. You know, to his point, thank you. I mean, I listened probably 5 minutes too much a day.
He's telling you it's 5 minutes that's changing your life.
Listening to his damn weather reports and his Brady reports and his... I got it. He did send me a really good Caucasian afro from a bowler today. Best afro I've seen since Mr. Cotter. But all right.
Sounds like he's spending a lot of time working on that tax bracket.
It was quite an elitist wannabe call and comment from him. No?
There's a lot of different bracket people out there. There's a lot of different folks that emerge out of the woodwork this time of year.
Guarantee you.
But filling out a bracket is the furthest from the issue in March.
Well, I'm just going to tell you. First of all, I do believe Edward has a bracket. Okay? And I also believe whatever double-digit seed makes a run to the Sweet 16, he's going to call next week and tell me he called it.
Yep.
Do you think I'm wrong?
I told you about that North Texas team. Sleeper. Everyone's talking about Liberty. Oh, how it's North Texas beating Purdue.
Yeah, I loved the Mean Green.
5.5-star pick.
I just
right
love
there.
their name, Jeff. Mean Green. It's a great name. All right, see? I'm just telling you. Powerful call from Michael today, says Bad Street. Today he washed into the OD as Hurricane Michael. I haven't gotten excellence out of Lobo Athletics from the disastrous University Arena renovation to questionable hires. Michael's call, he wanted excellence. He wanted excellence in, Mike. Sorry about the loss of feed on the TV side. I'm going to have to reboot that. But yeah, he wanted excellence. He wants, everybody wants excellence, man. I'm telling you, nobody's sitting around saying, you know what, I just want to make a mediocre hire. Nobody's saying that.
I don't know. I have a poster on my wall I look at every morning. It says, be fine. It's fine.
It's so funny you say that, man. It's just, it's because it's fine or nothing. And that's been kind of a running joke. We FaceTime my mom every day, and she's like, yeah, Jeff's fine. And that's my whole thing. Oh, Douglas, my little brother, he's got 2 masters, and he's such a mensch. I love Jeffrey's fine. He runs some stupid little football game and talks to the radio. And I don't even know what he does anymore. Jeffrey's fine. Yeah, that's how it is. He's fine. Everything's fine. All right, 505-246-06. It'd be better than fine. How do I look in this dress? You look fine. Pardon me? Bad.
Fine.
Fine is different than fine. Oh, you look fine. It's the opening drive. We're fine. It's fine radio. No, we got to be better than fine, JJ. We strive for excellence, not fineness. On the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green and keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marielena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Art Sandoval in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Talk to State Farm agent Greg Shamus today.
Thank you to Greg Shamus for his support of ProView Networks.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or call 999-1234 for TurboThreads.
All right, you got game day tonight in the NCAA. You still got probably in most of your brackets, you still got time to turn stuff in. I think everybody's waiting until they tip off Friday. But you got, what day is today? Today's Thursday? First four today. UCLA Michigan State's intriguing as heck. It just is. Just wonderful storied programs with banners hanging in their gyms. Happen to be in the first four, which is insane. It's the opening drive. Jeff Siembieda and J.J. Buck. J.J., you got a call tomorrow night. Cal Baptist and Lady Lobos, 6:30 pregame. 7 o'clock is the start of the WNIT.
Looking forward to it. Definitely a different feel this year with 4 regional sites. Got a winners and a consolation bracket. And it would be the thing for the Lobos to play the season that they just had and get to go play the only undefeated team in women's college basketball in CBU, which is an interesting matchup. But I'm excited to see this team back on the court again, the challenge ahead. By the way, this Cal Baptist team, they're like a 500 basketball team last year. They're 7-9 in WAC play, and all of a sudden you go undefeated. Just an unbelievable jump for the Lancers. So it should be some good basketball.
What'd they do? I mean, was it transfers? Was it just improvement? What?
Got better. You look at the roster. They didn't acquire a ton of talent. They got healthy in a couple spots, and that was it. And then all of a sudden they run the table, which is incredible because it doesn't matter, oh, maybe the league's not that good. There's, 2 teams that are undefeated right now. Gonzaga did it. Cal Baptist this year.
They're crazy. Nobody would get that right. Nobody would like if you ask Jerry Palm, Jerry, there's 2 undefeated teams in America in Division I basketball. Gonzaga is one of them on the men's side. Who is it? What? No, all right, I'll give you a hint. It's a women's team. Oh, yeah.
UConn.
No.
Baylor? Nope.
Oh,
Notre
South
Dame?
Carolina. No.
North Carolina State? Nope.
Stanford. No.
Dawn on the line.
No. How about this, Jerry? And they're not in the NCAA tournament. What? How could I don't even understand. Yeah. Cal.
Can someone has anyone ever been able to say why? What the NCAA mandated transition period? What is the point of that?
I got to believe it's designed to protect teams, and I don't even know how it would be. It's such a really good question. What is considered to be encompassed within the transition period that they describe, right? It's a transition. It's a 4-year transition to Division I. All right, but what does that mean? I mean, they're upping their scholarships, they're upping their budget, their facility. But if you're to your point, if you're letting them play in a Division I league, you're letting them play against Division I competition. Why would they not be eligible? Now, I know this in the football side. while they're transitioning, theoretically they have not been bowl eligible. But as bowls expanded, and we've gotten into the conversation over the years about how to fill spots if there's not enough bowl eligible teams, bowl eligible meaning 500 record or better, then the first go-to before you go to that APR tiebreaker would be to teams who are transitioning. And over the last few years, that had been Liberty, it had been Coastal Carolina. Look what those two teams have done. Those schools as they've transitioned over the last few years. But I've never really gotten an explanation, and I don't know how deep I've really dug for that as to why that is.
It's like the worst rule in sport, like ever.
We're going to punish you
anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're 24-0, but I'm sorry, you're only in your second year as a Division I basketball member. So you can play in a WNIT, but then NCAA tournament, that's not going to be for you because, sorry.
No, it's really it's. I don't know that I understand it. I don't. Michael, who'd you tell me we got that I'm going to?
Don,
let's go there. Hello, Don. Good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline.
Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, JJ. Just a quick story for you and then a comment, if you don't mind. But I was in a Great Clips one time because that's where somebody in my tax bracket goes to get their haircut. And I'm getting my haircut, and I'm listening to a guy across the way. Can't see him because I got my back turned to him, and I thought, man, this guy sounds familiar. Turned around, and I asked the guy, hey, man, you sound really familiar. I said, what's your name? He says, my name's Edward. I said, that's who it is, man. It's Edward. I said, you're on 610 all the time, man. He said, yeah. He says, what's your name? So we introduced ourselves. Anyways, Edward's a great guy. I don't know him personally, but I love to listen to his calls. I was asking somebody the other day, I said, is this an act on the radio, or is this really who Edward is? He tells me, no, man, that's really Edward. So I thought Edward would be getting his haircut over at Mark Pardo, but currently he's over at Great Clips.
Well, that's how he gets in that tax bracket. He saves all that money, and that's how he's in that tax bracket, getting his Great Clips haircut.
Must be, man. I don't know. He's smart with his money, I guess. Very frugal. So. But anyways, we were talking about the coaching hire and the mentality here in New Mexico about people wanting the coaches to be from New Mexico. I think he had a guy call the other day and said he wanted the West Mesa girls varsity basketball coach to get a shot at the job, which I thought was rather comical. But anyways, you look at some of your most successful coaches throughout history in the NCAA, and, I mean, look at John Wooden. He was historic over at UCLA. Where was he from? He was from Indiana. You look at Nick Saban. Did he have any ties to Alabama before he went there and became a football coaching god? No. He was from West Virginia and coached all over the place, everywhere except Alabama. Even locally, or not locally, but somebody we're really familiar with, Don Haskins. Coached at UTEP, was pretty successful down there. He was from Enid, Oklahoma. So, in New Mexico, people need to get over this mentality, get over ourselves. I know we're very prideful people here, but we've got to live in reality, And I'm hoping Coach Pitino comes in here and does a great job. And if he's here and he leaves after he's done a great job, well, you know what? It's money well spent. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Don. Don't be a stranger. That's a great phone call. Rack him.
Edward, how could you?
All right, Edward's been outed for where he gets his hair clipped. First of all, he's been outed. Look, pick your legends of wherever they are, right? I just I don't know where Vince Lombardi's from, but I'm going to guess he didn't grow up in Green Bay. I don't know that. Bill Belichick wasn't from the Boston area. I just look, let people earn or not earn their accolades on their merits. I get it. Sometimes it works, right? You're going to find me one, but Rocky Long was from, I believe, Rancho Cucamonga, California. Isn't that? I'm pretty sure the Inland Empire. Came here to play football. Now he had a tie here when he came back, but you let him come in here and you loved on him. Danny Granger wasn't from. But as far as in the coaching hires, JJ, I think it's going to work with Danny, like I do. But how many of those stories are there?
It's an inexact science. There's so much work that has to be done for a coach, whether you're an alumni, you're from the state, you're from somewhere else, to establish all the things you need in a program, but it can be done if you're from somewhere else. Yes, this program has a lot of attention on it. This state's different, but the one thing I will say is it's not quirky. We're New Mexico, but we can be just as good as anyone else in the Mountain West, and it's just buying into the community, being a part of the community. And I think that's the biggest thing, not necessarily having to have spent time in this region or being from the state of New Mexico. It's investing in what you're doing. All right, you're the head coach in New Mexico, this is my team, and then embracing the fan base, and good things can happen.
Yeah, I think all that's right. James wants to talk about the women, Jeff. Bradbury has written checks with his mouth. Who would you rather take, a 4-10 Ole Miss or us? I hope the Lady Lobos can cash this week. They're in a field that should look like them. Another early exit. Not only does it look like they didn't belong in the NCAA, but they fattened up at a weak Mountain West field. So this is an interesting draw. Mm-hmm. He did say, and I don't disagree with him, by the way. You know where I stand on taking another 4-10 power conference team or a team that's 15-4 of the Mountain West. In the minority sometimes in our conversations with that. So I don't follow it enough to say, damn, how tough is this draw? It looks pretty damn tough. It looks like, well, doesn't even look like, they got the only undefeated team in America. I'm going to guess Cal Baptist is pretty bleeping good. And then if they win, they get probably Houston, who was, by the tournament selection committee, the first team left out of the NCAA. It's a pretty brutal draw.
Yes, it's a challenge. And to James' point, you can start second-guessing it. I still think it's a fantastic accomplishment, what they did. I know James is someone that's not been sold on the competition at all because he's constantly talked about that all season long. But I will say, I haven't tried to sell the Mountain West as the best thing since sliced bread. This is my first year really diving into it like this. But I think this Lobo team is good. What they did this year was fantastic, given the circumstances. And yeah, it will be very disappointing if it ends this way. Then you're going to have to deal with more conversation like that. But this team is ready to go, and these players have done something special this season, and I'm expecting a great game tomorrow night.
All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Emails are coming in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. We're going to get into the Sean Bradley story when we come back because it's just such a bummer, a brutal story, and the outpouring of love yesterday was amazing. But we'll hit that on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. JJ's got a little something for you.
We're going to be spending a lot of time enjoying the madness, sitting on the couch, screens up, but you got to get your body moving a little bit. Let me tell you about F45 training. F45 training is high-intensity circuit training in a class atmosphere. Yes, 45 minutes, no wasted time. You're in, you're out with a fantastic workout. They're cleaning the classes before and after. You have sanitizers with you to just quickly wipe down with your kettlebells, dumbbells, etc., whatever equipment you're using for that exercise, and then you're on to the next one. It really does help you focus in on getting a great workout in a really good atmosphere, and I am enjoying F45. Check them out, f45training.com, or download the F45 app to sign up for your 7-day free trial, and also take a look at the classes. It's a different class every single day, different movements, tempos, set times to keep your body and mind moving forward. They're located at 5920 Holly Northeast, so it's good access, Paseo I-25, from wherever you're coming from in the city, and I am loving the workouts. They're open 7 days a week. Like I said, that 7-day free trial, no strings attached. Sign up, check it out. Once you get into the gym, you're really going to enjoy these workouts. F45training.com, the F45 app, team training, life-changing. I'll see you at F45.
The madness.
No, right through the wickets. Did that go? Yes, it
did go in.
did.
Tough serve. Here we go.
That's a
Ace.
great serve ace by Vance, so a kill and then an ace for the 5'9" 8th grader. Vance, another ace. So back-to-back aces by the 8th grader. Another third successive ace got. Yarno back to pass, looking left, looks to his right, throws, caught, touchdown. Touchdown, Western New Mexico. The run may be coming here. One we've won. Only the keeper to beat, and she does. Rio Rancho's on.
Ferreira, and one run's going to come around to score. Here comes another run, and the Cowboys plate two more.
Delivers. That one's driven to right field over the head of the right fielder. That one's out of the park, a home run. And that's directly into the wind. I mean, I don't know what happened there, but she got around on it. She had hit one like that earlier in the game, but it was foul. Didn't go out, but that one carried and went out of the park.
Man in motion in front of Sordin. He'll get it on a power sweep. On the first play of the game, and he might be off to the races. Nobody in front, and we're going to have an opening touchdown for the Buffaloes.
That's driven deep to left. That ball is history. A three-run bomb for Mr. Galen Young, and the Cowboys lead it 3-0.
Midfield by Molina. Now to Martin. Still Martin. They've given her a lot of space, and she buries another upper V. They gave her way too much room, and she put it away.
Jet sweep touchdown for Michael Cardonita. This one will take a beautiful Sunday hop for Bailey. He's looking for some space to develop, looking for some blockers. He's going to make a man miss. That's video game stuff right there. To the sideline, to the house, touchdown, Merrill.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I've ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Are you sure we're supposed to be doing this?
Don't worry, I've watched him do it 1,000 times. Come on, what's the worst that can happen?
No! Bad dog!
Hi, welcome to Car Crafters. What happened? Don't worry, we'll make it like it never happened.
It's like it never happened.
Car Crafters is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm.
You threw a softball, Jeff, says Bruce. Let me hit it out of the gym for you. Yes, if you're a man, especially with money in 2021, you better either have a posse or video on you at all times so you can clear your name in this culture when you're automatically assumed guilty. He's talking about Deshaun Watson. Okay? That situation, like I told you earlier, man, if he did what he's accused of, it's very disturbing. And if he didn't do what he's accused of, it is very, very disturbing, one way or the other. And what do you do? You go for a massage. I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. I'm not even going to pretend to take a side on this. But either way, what do you do?
Bruin, James, and Howard.
It's the opening drive. 505-246-0610 is how to get in. I want to hit this, and then we'll go to phones. Former NBA center, BYU center, Sean Bradley, is paralyzed. He suffered a traumatic spinal cord injury. The Dallas Mavericks, one of his former teams, released the statement yesterday. This was back in January. Evidently, he was struck from behind by a car. He was riding his bike. It was just a block from his home in St. George, Utah. He underwent neck fusion surgery, spent 8 weeks hospitalized undergoing rehabilitation. He's 48 years old, was the second overall pick in the draft in 1993. Star at BYU. I know a lot of Lobo fans back in the day remember him playing in the pit. This is brutal. And look, I don't care if it happens to Sean Bradley or a guy I didn't know that's riding his bike on Tramway. But the outpouring yesterday was pretty insane. By every account, a pretty good guy. And I mean, a guy riding his bike and got clipped from behind. I wonder all the time, I see these bicyclists out there and how it doesn't happen more. And I know it happens quite a bit, but holy smokes, that was a bad story when I saw that.
Yes, it was. Shocking to hear anything like that, but you wish the best for him and his family moving forward.
Yeah. All right, let's go to the phones. Howard, good morning. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hello, Howard.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. Thank you for the birthday wishes the other day, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Happy birthday to you.
Yeah, turning 60 and going out on your birthday night and having a little fun just doesn't mix anymore. You don't recover like you used to, But it was fun. That's certainly tragic about Sean Bradley. It just makes you want to, I saw that yesterday. It makes you just want to try to be more aware of what's going on around you and your surroundings, and don't peek at that phone when somebody sends you a text message or whatever. Just try to keep your focus on the road for everybody's sake. I'm going to shift over to the Lady Lobos. I think it's a shame there's some people that aren't embracing them more for what they accomplished this year. I mean, what they did this year was pretty phenomenal, in my opinion. In spite of the pandemic, they managed to put together imagine young girls having to stay cooped up and not being able to get out with their friends and do the things they like to do, but they were dedicated to the season, and now it's paid them some dividends. The WNIT is a nice accomplishment this year, and I for one, am pretty proud of what they accomplished, and I think it was the start of a new beginning for them somewhat, and for you as well, JJ. I said you've been doing a stellar job on the broadcast. I've really been enjoying them. I listen to them as much as I possibly can, in spite of work. But you and the Lady Lobos and that whole thing came together this year, and I think I'm quite proud of it. Thanks for taking my call. Have a good day, guys.
All right, Howard. Good to hear you. Bruin James, you're up next on Game Day. Good morning, James. How you living? You got your Bruin boxers on and you ready to go?
Ready to go, bro. Ready to go. Yeah, I got We Are the Sons of Westwood on repeat, so we're gonna be all right. Just to let you guys know, hey, I think your athletic director there at UNM man, I got to give him props, man. I think that's a pretty good hire. Yesterday, after I talked to you, I was listening to everybody talk and everything, and then he came on like 30 minutes later or something like that. And he was 8 years at Minnesota. I didn't know. I thought he was there, and then they rushed him out of town. And when I heard how long he was there and stuff like that, and yeah, pretty good hire. I'd give the athletic director probably a 7.5 on the hire. Not bad, you know. I don't go too much higher than the 8, you know. I mean, but 7.5, good hire, and the thing is now is you got to figure out, you know. I mean, are you going to recruit Texas, California, and
yes.
Nevada?
Yes,
you know,
yes.
I mean, that's the whole thing. So, I know this guy. His name's James. Pretty good recruiter, man. So, you know, if you guys want to get in contact with him, just contact me, and I'll get a hold of him. He's kind of on hiatus, you know. So, but great recruiter across the Inland Empire, the Valley, San Diego, Vegas, Phoenix. So, hey. Have a good one, guys.
All right, James. See ya. You get the Inland Empire, man. You get some more Kendall Williams. Get into Riverside. Find the Tony Snells, the Kawhi Leonards. I mean, that's James's sweet spot right in there. Let's go one more before we go to the break. Danny, good morning, Danny. You're on the Quan's Auto Care Hotline. Hi, Danny.
Good morning, guys. I just wanted to call and put in my 2 cents. I'm actually really excited about this hire. I listened to the 2 podcasts with Jeff Grammer. I found that real, educational with Richard Pitino, and I really think he's going to do a good job. I didn't know that he was doing so well. I mean, they interviewed him with Romy just in January, and they were talking about him being ranked and how good they were doing. They just beat Michigan. 2 months later, he's out the door. So I understand, of course, it's a business, but I think we actually got lucky on this hire. So I'm just calling for my support. He's gonna do good. That's why I'm calling.
Danny, and you can take a listen. Richard was on with us yesterday too, and that's available for us on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM, or on JJ's Twitter page. But you can listen to the conversation we had as well. Thanks for the call, Danny. I think he's going to win the press conference today, JJ. Richard Pitino is going to win the press conference today. I do believe that. And there's going to be people who are going to be skeptical, and there's going to be people who are going to be all in, and that's the beauty of this process.
Absolutely. If you're skeptical, of course, nothing is ever a for sure. Nothing is ever a given. And you got to come in and prove yourself. You can enjoy this moment, and it might be the happiest moment of Richard Pitino's tenure. You never know. But it's about the opportunity as a fan taking a step back, seeing some success, and then asking yourself, all right, what level of investment am I going to have in this, whether it's season tickets, game tickets, merchandise, etc. But that's the beauty of it. This entire process is you can get so many different voices and opinions on it, and then ultimately there's one thing: what does that scoreboard say at the end of the day?
Win, win, win. Cut down nets. No, I get it. All right, back to the phones when we get back. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
A rogue virus, no jobs, sky-high tuition debt. Life is trying to put our generation on the sidelines. But we refuse to just sit back and watch it pass us by. Instead, watch us fly ahead. Watch us overcome anything. Watch us rise. Watch us change our world. Watch us become the next greatest generation.
Calling all football players, are you looking to develop your skills this season? It's never too late or too early to put in the work. Coach Carl Barrere and the Air Barrere program at 8 Grady's Performance Center provide comprehensive position training for aspiring football players at all levels. Whether you're looking to increase your speed, gain strength, or hone your skill, we train all positions with a team of experienced coaches who know what it takes to succeed at all levels from Yaffle to college. Check us out at 8gradys.com to learn more and sign up for training today.
Jackson Compaction wants to help you keep your green. And keep the community green as well. Jackson Compaction has worked hard to maintain the same prices since day one. Always easy and painless trash removal with professional crews and quality service. If it's non-hazardous waste, debris, or trash on your land, leave it to us. At Jackson Compaction, we're dedicated to ensuring the conservation of our environment. You trash it, we smash it. Jackson Compaction, we've earned a reputation for great results.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Hayes. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Tucson, Arizona.
Hi, I'm Staff Sergeant Greg Martinez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
Hi, I'm Marilena Fernandez. I'm with the New Mexico Army National Guard, and I'm from Santa Fe, New Mexico.
The New Mexico Army National Guard is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school athletics.
Your surprisingly great rates? Contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Art Sandoval in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Next in line.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Sadie's is a proud supporter of New Mexico high school sports and athletics, and we here at ProView Networks would like to thank Sadie's for their continued support in helping us bring you all of your New Mexico high school sports coverage.
Talk to State Farm agent Greg Shamus today.
Thank you to Greg Shamus for his support of ProView Networks.
At New Mexico Highlands University, you're more than a student, you're family. Whether you're taking courses in Las Vegas, Santa Fe, Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, or Farmington, you'll get that one-on-one attention to inspire you to reach your goals. Let New Mexico Highlands help take your passion and accelerate it into a career and fulfilling life path. Find out why New Mexico Highlands is the right choice for you. Log on to NewMexicoHighlands.com today.
TurboThreads is a proud sponsor of ProView Networks.
Almost 30 years of experience means fast service, great prices, and a wide selection of apparel from t-shirts to performance sports shirts, even jackets and hats. They feature low minimums and no setup charges on most orders. TurboThreads is located at 1503 Golf Course Road in Rio Rancho, or find them on Facebook, online at turbothreads.com, or...
Do we have the first 4 games on our air today? Micah? Shaking your head doesn't work on radio. You
3
gotta talk
p.m.
3 p.m. What's the first game? Do you know?
I do not.
I'll get you over.
I believe it's Mount St. Mary's taking on Texas Southern for the right to lose to Michigan.
That's right. Texas Southern, Mount St. Mary's your first game. Then it's Drake against Wichita State. And then you get Appalachian State against Norfolk State. And then it'll be the UCLA Bruins and the Michigan State Spartans. All of it here on your home for the NCAA tournament. 95.9 FM and AM 610, the sports animal. 505-246-0610 is how you're getting in today. Let's go there. Hello, Lenny. How you living? Been a while.
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. Good to hear you.
So first, prayers go out to Sean Bradley. That's tragic that happens to anyone. And hopefully with rehabilitation, he can get back use of his lower body.
Yep. Agreed. What do you
So,
got?
Now, I'm not following the tournament. I'm following NBA. So what do you think about the trade yesterday that Milwaukee did to give up 2 number ones to get a PJ Tucker?
JJ?
I think it's a whole lot of nothing. You'll see like one game where PJ Tucker's playing some good defense, but ultimately I don't think it does a whole lot. And if you're Milwaukee, a couple late first-round picks, whatever, man. Who knows with draft picks these days in the NBA?
No, but they're an older team, so they're going all in. But most of their top players, except for Giannis, are over 30.
So it's
and
now or
I
never
just
for
don't know
them.
if they have enough. Unless the Nets are playing well, but I don't know how well they would play in a 7-game series going up against Embiid. If he's
I
healthy.
would. Well, look, Embiid, if he's healthy, has been spectacular. I'm just going to – this is me, JJ. I'd love to hear what you say. I just think the Nets are deeper, and as good as Joel Embiid is, in 7 games, I would take the Nets.
No, they're deeper. I mean, I've been watching them, the past, 5 or 6 games, and right now Harden has to be in the running for MVP
I think that's fair.
with what he's doing.
Yeah.
And what are they now? 12-1 without Durant. But
Wait till they get him back.
And then when they come back, I mean, are they the team to beat? We'll see. But see what other trades is. And now we'll get to the NFL. And congratulations to the New England Patriots who want to try to mail in the Super Bowl trophy for next year.
They're working hard.
Well, didn't they have like 7 starters last year opt out?
Yes. Defensive,
And
most of
everyone
it.
think that's about. And then you add in right now what they had, especially picking up Juno and the tight end from San Diego.
Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry. Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry they got.
And then to pick up even Nelson Aguilar and Bourne, they're going to have a nice little offense.
If Cam can run it, it's really going to come down to what can Cam do, or whoever their quarterback's going to end up being.
That's if Cam is the quarterback.
Right. Whoever their quarterback's going to be. That's right.
And then the Jets are mucking it up. So now they've lost their leverage now for trading Sam Darnold if they wanted to, but they're not signing anyone. Corey Jefferson, to me, doesn't move the needle.
Why would he?
And I don't know what else they're doing with all that cap money.
All right, man.
So,
well, there's a lot of
it's a
NFL
weird
going.
offseason. And then the Lobos signing, I mean, I'm glad they signed him, but that was pretty quick. You get fired on a Monday, you're hired on a Wednesday.
Good living, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, did they know in advance he was going to get terminated? Because they jumped on him real quick.
I think all of America knew. Yeah, we interviewed on Saturday and didn't get fired until Monday night. So yeah, they had to know.
So I think it's a good pick for him, and we'll see. And again, you give him a couple of years and see what happens. I think
That's how it
Paul
is.
Ware. I mean, I was all in on him when he came in, but I guess he was in over his head,
Yeah,
going
just
from
didn't work
state
for
to up
whatever
here.
reason. Yeah, for whatever reason, it didn't work. All right, man. It's good to hear you. Be well.
Right. Thanks.
See you. Lenny called it 246-0610, so there's a lot in there. Did they know? Didn't everybody know?
Yes, Minnesota knew. So why they're like, oh, you want to go talk to New Mexico? Yeah, okay. We're going to probably have this decided by the end of the weekend, and then y'all can make your decision.
Yeah, I look at this and I'm like, well, how? Anybody was surprised by that? Somebody said to me yesterday, it'd be nice to have that last name and be able to get fired and 12 hours later get a job that pays you $800,000 a year. Yeah, okay, it would. Look, Richard's had to stand on his own, and you mentioned this yesterday coming out of our conversation with him, and I hope that's the last conversation we have with him in the context of his dad being, having to separate. Richard's been on his own for 9 years as a head coach. there's a blessing and a curse, right? You've got a magical last name when it comes to college basketball. You've got a Hall of Fame last name. Your dad was that, but now you've got to stand on your own. It's like any junior, right? I followed Ken Griffey Jr. a lot when I was early in my career up in Washington State. And Kenny his dad was a really good player. And Kenny came up with all this fanfare, and he had to live up to his dad. Now, obviously, Kenny exceeded what his dad was. Kenny became a great player. But at some point, you've got to step into your own, and you'll stop talking about your dad. Richard's in that process. Richard had success at Minnesota. I would argue with you he had as much success as most coaches at Minnesota, right? Clem Haskins had success, but it's all been vacated because he cheated. Tubby Smith didn't work well there. Dan Monson didn't work there. Like you look, I would tell you Richard is done a good job of making his own name, but he'll always be in that shadow because his dad was so great until he wins it at a really high level. But yeah, obviously he's done good things, and the people in the game, that's who I listen to, JJ. I listen to the people in the game that don't have a dog in the fight, right? I listen to opposing coaches, players, assistant coaches. That's who I listen more so than somebody who would call our show and just only looks at a record. The record's part of the story. But listening to the people who I think know college basketball, and you can tell them, Jeff, of course they're going to say good things. That's what people always do. That's part of the fraternity of basketball. Coaches always talk good about other coaches. Not always. Not always. And if you look who's talking and what they're saying, I'm willing to give this a shot and see, knowing that it's inexact.
Yes, and even with the last name like that, you're going to run out of good opportunities at some point in time if you don't hold up your end of the bargain. And you can't run from the fact, and I think that's why you address it up front. You ask him the question, but ultimately after that, this is Richard Pitino's show. It's not Rick Pitino's team. It's Richard Pitino's program at the University of New Mexico, and he's done a lot of work on his own. You mentioned that step he took to leave his father's staff to go work with Billy Donovan, the 8 years, the connections that he's built at Minnesota, all that experience. Now we'll see how it translates at New Mexico.
Yep. All right. 505-246-0610. We're honing in on the noon press conference out of University Stadium to introduce Richard Pitino. You can get in on it. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com, JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. I had my LASIK done in 2003 at Coleman Vision. There's nowhere else to go. Dr. Coleman is the absolute best. And the way they treat you, the first class, everything at Coleman Vision, you're going to understand when you walk in there what I'm talking about. And then the demand for LASIK surgery has been on quite the rise during the pandemic. But the benefits that you're going to get with LASIK are going to last way beyond this pandemic. And there's a lot of reasons for the increased demand for LASIK. And I'm telling you this because I had it done in 2003, so that's coming up on 18 years ago, and it's still, I'm benefiting from it every day. But look, you've got flexible schedules now. You're wearing masks, and it's fogging up your glasses, and you don't want to deal with it. Maybe you've got some disposable income. And the long-term value of this, look, besides being convenient and improving your quality of life, LASIK surgeries offer greater long-term value. The procedure essentially pays for itself in the long run because you're not going to have to spend money on eye checkups and eyeglasses and lenses and contacts and designer frames and all that stuff. And if you've got additional disposable income, investing in your health always is going to pay off. Always is going to. Coleman Vision is the spot. They're family to me. They changed my life. And I strongly suggest if you think you're a candidate for LASIK, you call Dr. Coleman. 505-881-8880 is the number, 881-8880, or visit them at colemanvision.com. Seeing is believing. I certainly believe.
Plan your adventure at WNMU.edu.
Extreme Clean is a proud sponsor and supporter of ProView Networks and all high school sports athletics. Owner Mike McLean and Extreme Clean specialize in carpet cleaning for apartment, realty, business, and residential clients. With over 20 years experience, attention to detail and quality customer service matters. For more information, give them a call, 505-221-6440, Extreme Clean.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Ashley Duran in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Here at Legacy, we are here to disciple people by helping them connect with God, grow in relationships, and live generously.
No, right through the wickets. Did that go? Yes, it did.
Tough serve. Here we go.
That's a great serve, ace by Vance, so a kill, and then an ace for the 5'9" 8th grader. Vance, another ace. So back-to-back aces by the 8th grader. Another third successive ace got. Yarno back to pass, looking left, looks to his right, throws, caught, touchdown. Touchdown, Western New Mexico. The run may be coming here. One we've won. Only the keeper to beat, and she does. Rio Rancho's on.
Ferreira, and one run's going to come around the score. Here comes another run, and the Cowboys play two more.
Delivers. That one's driven to right field over the head of the right fielder. That one's out of the park, a home run. And that's directly into the wind. I mean, I don't know what happened there, but she got around on it. She had hit one like that earlier in the game, but it was foul. Didn't go out, but that one carried and went out of the park.
Man in motion in front of Sorgen. He'll get it on a power sweep. On the first play of the game, and he might be off to the races. Nobody in front, and we're going to have an opening touchdown for the Buffaloes.
That's driven deep to left. That ball is history. A three-run bomb for Mr. Galen Young, and the Cowboys lead it 3-0.
Midfield by Molina. Now to Martin. Still Martin. They've given her a lot of space, and she buries another upper V. They gave her way too much room, and she put it away.
sweep touchdown for Michael Cardonita. This one will take a beautiful Sunday hop for Bailey. He's looking for some space to develop, looking for some blockers. He's going to make a man miss. That's video game stuff right there. To the sideline, to the house, touchdown, Merrill.
All right, opening drive, rolling home. Richard Pitino is going to be introduced formally today. Looking forward to that. It's the opening drives on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Sound. Let's go back to it, 505-246-0610. Rudy, good morning, Rudy. How you living?
Good morning. Thinking about this hire, and I don't always get people, but there's always going to be people that have a reaction, why him, and he's a loser, and it's amazing how a change of scenery can help somebody. And whatever mistakes he made at Minnesota, he doesn't have to make them here, right?
He doesn't have to, correct.
Yeah, I mean, whatever you learn from that experience and whatever went off the rails, and like I said, I mean, 8 years is a long time. You look at coaches now, they're around 4 years. Otzelberger is going to be at UNLV how long?
2 years, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh.
And it's not like Otzelberger owned the conference, did he?
No, I don't think he ever got to the postseason.
Right. And yet he's taking a job for a lot more money. So
yeah.
I think what I like about this hire is a couple things. Number one, this is a hire that's going to define Eddie as an athletic director in a lot of ways, right? This is his first really big, meaningful, other than football hire as an athletic director.
These two hires will define him.
Yep. But especially basketball, because it was, this is the linchpin of UNM sports programs, and it's always, no matter how good football's doing, if there's a story on Louisville basketball, it seems to be on the front page. And until that changes, we have to deal with that reality. So I like the hire. You got to hire somebody you trust, somebody you know, and everybody has spoken so highly of him. I've done my due diligence, and I always wondered why things didn't work out for Pitino in the Big Ten, because he can obviously coach. You don't beat Michigan, Ohio State, and what was the third one that he beat? Purdue? I think this year he beat 3 top 25. Actually,
he beat Michigan, Ohio State, and Purdue.
Like the state, Alaska on the line.
Yeah. You don't beat those teams if you can't coach. So whatever the consistency is, and that's why I was talking about mistakes in terms of depth, in terms of maybe I made a mistake recruiting this kid when I shouldn't have. But let's see what happens, and it would do Bayron Matos a lot of good to stay here. I don't know if that relationship's going to work out or not, but he really hasn't had a chance to get his feet underneath him anywhere. So why not here? And he certainly is a kid that has potential. All those guys do. Let's see what happens. This is fate. I've been waiting a year to go somewhere, so I finally get invited to a party out in Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm leaving because I'm driving because I didn't want to do the airplane thing yet. And of course, I'm leaving today when we have the meet and greet with Coach Pitino. So I'll have to catch him at another time. Maybe I'll sneak into the stadium for a little while. That's an interesting place for a press conference for basketball, but I kind of like it because it means the average fan, people out there, if you get a chance, go there for your lunch hour. Grab a sack lunch and go out there and listen to Coach Pitino.
There you go. Pick up some Rudy's on the way. Or do we have a sponsor? Is Rudy's one of our sponsors? It's one of the Pro-V sponsors, right? Yeah, grab that.
Yeah. Or maybe go by Golden Pride, get a burrito to go.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Go by Golden Pride.
And go out there and say hi. I'll tell you one thing he's going to like. It's still not very warm in Minnesota. Today it's going to be really nice. The sun's out. It's going to be a nice sunny day here in beautiful New Mexico. So I really hope everybody that calls himself a Lobo fan just gets behind this guy and let's see what can happen. I really think some good things are going to happen, and I appreciate what his dad said about him because I think that's a very true statement too.
Yep. All right. Hey, drive safely. We're out of time. We got to go. Rudy called 246-0610. You can utilize that number tomorrow. Put it in your speed dial. All right, 3 o'clock today, you get NCAA basketball. You get the first 4 here on your home for the NCAA tournament. Jim Rome Show is next. They heard with Colin Cowherds after that, and then the hoops. We'll be back tomorrow morning with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Jay Pohl, Josh, great work. Micah. I don't even know what to say to you. Great work. JJ, enjoy the day today. See you out there in person here in a couple hours.
Have a day, y'all.
Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
Roto-Runner jingle take.
No, right through the wickets. Did that go? Yes, it did.
Tough serve. Here we go.
That's a great serve ace by Vance. So a kill and then an ace for the 5'9" 8th grader. Vance, another ace. So back-to-back aces by the 8th grader. Another third successive ace got. Giarno back to pass, looking left, looks to his right, throws, caught, touchdown. Touchdown, Western New Mexico. The run may be coming here. One we've won. Only the keeper to beat, and she does. Rio Rancho's on.
Ferreira, and one run's going to come around the score. Here comes another run, and the Cowboys play 2 more.
Delivers. That one's driven to right field over the head of the right fielder. That one's out of the park, a home run. And that's directly into the wind. I mean, I don't know what happened there, but she got around on it. She hit one like that earlier in the game, but it was foul. Didn't go out, but that one carried and went out of the park.
Man in motion in front of Sorian. He'll get it on a power sweep. On the first play of the game, and he might be off to the races. Nobody in front, and we're going to have an opening touchdown for the Buffaloes.
That's driven deep to left. That ball is history. A 3-run bomb for Mr. Galen Young, and the Cowboys lead it 3-0.
Midfield by Molina. Now it's Martin. Still Martin. They've given her a lot of space, and she buries another upper V. They gave her way too much room, and she put it away. Jet sweep touchdown for Michael Cardonita. This one will take a beautiful Sunday hop for Bailey. He's looking for some space to develop, looking for some blockers. He's going to make a man miss. That's video game stuff right there. To the sideline, to the house, touchdown, Merrill.